goodness. Okay, y'all. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Welcome to the Carlotta Chatwood Show. I am Carlotta. Okay, I was not expecting to come on with y'all today. I was, but I was gonna do it at night. Okay, but since we had just talked about last week Travis and Taylor, and I think I put the wrong description up. You guys forgive me if I put the wrong description. I think I put Travis and Kelsey engaged, or Travis. I don't know if I put Travis and Taylor engaged. I don't know what I put for you guys, but I wanted to come on and have a quick discussion about that and just tell you guys, just be in touch with you guys. Okay, so I told you guys if there was like extreme hot topics, I would come on and talk about them. Today, I think is that gives me a moment to have go ahead, come on and talk with you guys. Okay, so first off, let me get with just the basics. My week going good. First week of school, a little overwhelmed, but I feel like, I'm doing good. Pray for me, you guys. Keep me in prayers. I'm like trying to get all my stuff together because I am like really trying to plan on going on the Maxwell cruise. I'm really trying to plan on it. I really am. So like, I'm really like, so I'm trying to get all my ducks in a row, like paying for my school, doing all these things and just making sure, everything's in order and then go for the cruise. And I'm like, okay, and I'm really trying to talk myself into, if I really want to go on this cruise, I really do want to go because I actually missed one years ago he was supposed to do. And so he started doing these cruises again, and I haven't been on one of them. The first year, he had it. I was diagnosed with breast. I was diagnosed with breast cancer the first year. Or was the Super Bowl happening? I can't remember. No, I think I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and the first year it was Sabrina Claudio. I was protesting, but it was good that I protest because I think I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I couldn't go anywhere. My boobie was, it was a huge boobie. And so the second year, I forget what happened why I couldn't do it. So I decided this is going to be the year. I mean, I love the lineup too. So I'm hoping this is the year that I will try to attend this. Okay, if they don't sell out before I get the ticket, but I'm hoping this is like the one. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so I will talk to you guys more about the whole thing if I'm what I'm doing, and then plus I think I'm going to Vegas to see Max. Yeah, because I always do Vegas for Maxwell. So because it's the last part, I think this is the last date for the Serenade tour. So I'm excited about that one. Yeah, y'all know I'm a big Maxwell fan. Okay, so the difference is, I think this year I'll give you guys more of my experience, like what it's like, kind of with me talking y'all through it, like live, and probably doing more lives and stuff for you guys. Maybe, you know, maybe even just like what I do to get, when I do to go to my faves concerts and stuff like that. I may do that. Okay, so hopefully the new website will be up and you guys can see it from there too. Okay, so we'll work it out. Okay, we're working it out. I got so much going on. This is a really crazy year for me because I'm working. I'm going to be volunteering at like this theater here. I'm doing work at the theater, and I'm going to be doing my work at the school. It's just with our plates. I'm a little overwhelmed. But I feel like I'm getting my feet, getting my bearings, getting everything together. Is that the right word? Yeah, getting myself together, and I'm excited for the upcoming year. I'm just needing the organization. I'm just trying to figure out how to organize my space. You know what I'm saying? Trying to, y'all. All right, so with these, so you guys don't be surprised sometimes if you don't see me. Like I told you guys, these shows are going to be coming if there's really something important to talk about. Okay, really something. So I felt Travis and Taylor Swift were definitely important to talk about because I feel there's a lesson for this in the Travis, Kelsey, Taylor Swift engagement. I told y'all last week, I thought he was going to ride this out, even though I don't believe that Travis likes Taylor as much as Taylor likes Travis. I do believe that Travis has a certain type. Can I tell y'all something though? Let me tell you something. And I don't want Kayla and Nicole to be upset about where, I mean, because I know what it's like when you've put 7 years of investment in somebody and to watch them after you've just had 7 years with them and to watch them go off into a sunset with somebody else, and you're like, God, you're like, damn, it. I mean, maybe it feels great for her, but maybe it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Or you think you have to think I put a lot of time in. What did I do? What was I doing? Um, what I will say for her is that sometimes for men you're just too difficult. It's not that they don't love you. It's not that they don't care. Sometimes men pick the easy route. So can I just say this at first? It's like on Carrie and Mr. Big. Mr. Big could never pick Carrie right up. He picked a lot of crap before he came to Carrie. Before he realized that I got to go back to Carrie. I'm in love with Carrie. Now, some people question whether he was in love with Carrie or not. Now, some of you girls stick around for years and years and years, and the man don't really like you because he like be on and off or something like that. I'm gonna talk about that too. But there is the Carries of the world that Mr. Big, like, it does not matter. He can't stay away. Even though she's difficult as fuck. I believe Kayla Nicole listen, I believe Travis Kelce was at a spot in his career. I can't say I don't blame him for choosing Taylor Swift. I can't listen. It is difficult to be a white man in sports and being one of the top sports guys. This is just my personal opinion. This is not facts or something like that. And have be known for a succession of maybe being that brother, or what people would call, people used to back in the day, and don't get offended, people used to call a wigger, people with white boys acting like black boys or something like that. Being was considered a white guy who hangs around black guys, who dates black girls and everything like that. I remember seeing his reality show, and he has a type, okay? And Kayla Nicole, as beautiful as she is, I really still to this day, I mean, I think she had a degree in journalism or something, but she wasn't established in anything like Taylor Swift. Like Taylor Swift is established. We didn't really know what Kayla Nicole did. Nobody knew whatever Kayla Nicole did, even if she made her own money or a little bit of her own money, it was overwhelmed by what Travis Kelce was doing. Okay. So the experience was not an experience, not only experience, not an experience of equals, and they're equals probably together, but I'm just saying it wasn't an experience. I'm getting to this. I'm telling y'all why I'm talking to this today. It wasn't just an experience of not, equals, but um, it was also an interracial relationship, which comes with its own dynamics and its own things and its own situations and stuff like that. And no matter how used to this guy was used to dating black girls and stuff like that, or dating certain types, or liking black women, or whatever he liked, exotic types or whatever, I was not surprised that he would marry Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is white as you can go. As a white male in American society, unless you're already like super huge and stuff like that. In American society, being interracial has a black, when a black man marries a white woman, it's considered up in upper standard, right? Because they're white. I hate to say this is true. But it's still difficulties. When a white man who is big in society marries a black woman, it can hurt him. Taylor Swift is it's a whole huge change. And he's probably not had such pushback in his life. Now, I do suspect that the mother, Travis Kelce, this is my personal opinion, Travis Kelce's mother, every time I see her, she has this look on her face like, is my son doing this? I know my son. I could be wrong now. I'm pretty sure she's talking about Taylor Swift, but she seems like a mother that knows her son and is still is wondering if this is, I hope this is what he wants, right? Um, I think, listen, I tell you, I think men will can marry women, certain women, and it cannot be what, you know, it might not be what they planned on. It's just like certain women can marry certain men because of a lot of times, what's very important, women start to find out later on in life, you may have heavy attraction, heavy love or chemistry for somebody, and you know in your heart, in certain things that would be a great, that would be it for you or whatever, but they lack stability, or they lack security, or they lack being loyal, or they lack being faithful. And I think people, as they get into as they grow in their years in relationships and stuff, people want those things. Even if they have those other attractions and things, okay? Some of y'all been seeing Travis Kelce Securities retirement. Listen, I don't know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? She just added more money to her bag too. Travis ain't no slouch out in these streets, okay? Yeah, but it is so, there are those, let me just let y'all see the picture. There's their little, I don't know if y'all can see it, their little engagement picture in the florals. It's so great, so neat. Oh my god. And to hear the stories, I'm gonna talk about Kayla Nicole in a minute, but I just wanted to talk about this because first, I think that to hear the stories of, well, just, you knew this was going to happen. This is a publicity driven. I don't know if he would even, my personal opinion is Travis Kelce's in a whirlwind that he no longer controls. Everybody from his football team, like the football people like it, the NFL likes it. Everybody is pushing this marriage, and sometimes it can merge into your feelings. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't really think I think Travis likes her. I think Travis cares for her. I think Travis loves her, but I'm not sure if that's Travis's thing. But I think Travis at this time has found it so easy. Everything has went up in his career. Everything has turned around. And I'm not saying Kayla Nicole was it either. That's not what I'm saying. But everything has just done such a dynamic turn of events. Taylor Swift is good for fucking, not only is she good for marriage, but she's good for fucking business. You know what I'm saying? So it is a world, and those are some of the things that you have to think about as a person. I wouldn't say that's the only thing, but that is some of the things. You know what I'm saying? You want somebody that adds to you and compliments you and makes your life to go up. Now, the problem is with Taylor Swift is that's going to be a natural glow up. You know what I'm saying? Like a natural glow up, but it may not maintain itself. Because if the energy and the chemistry and all that stuff ain't really there, then eventually it'll start to seep in some way, right? Especially in the retirement years for Travis Kelce. Okay, because white men too. I mean, it's hard to be the wife of a successful woman, super successful. Okay, more successful than you. Okay, within society, right? So this is one of those relationships you're going to have to watch. It's so much going on, so many dynamics going around this. I mean, everything was pushing them to it. I am not surprised. Everything was pushing marriage. This is perfect for you. This is perfect for you. And be careful. I always tell people, be careful when everybody's saying somebody perfect for you. Because people have pictures of you that you don't have of yourself sometimes, or that you don't know. So you can look at it, take it with a grain of salt or not, but I think this is what's going on for Travis Kelce, okay? And I think for Taylor Swift, it's really an experience, a grounding experience that she never has. never had with anybody else. So she's finding this solid, stable, I'm in love, but she's really not looking at the dynamics, in my personal opinion, of who he was before. And that's because of youth. She's so young. To me, when I listened to her talk the other day, very smart girl, but I also saw a very young girl, like she may be, she's in her 30s, but she sounds like a 20-something-year-old. So that seems like where the mental is, and that's no diss. Okay, she's in her 30s, and sometimes the mental is a little farther back because of what she's experienced. She hasn't had a lot of experiences in the, like I said, in the real world, right? And Travis kind of gives her that grounding, even though Travis is a superstar athlete. He still kind of gives her a kind of that regular vibe grinding. Vibe, right? Yeah, I congratulations to them. Okay, so here's what I am saying. I wanted to give the show today to talk about the Kayla Nicoles of the world. Okay, because there are women out here. Kayla Nicole was the girlfriend of Travis Kelce just what was it, like a Super Bowl ago? 2 Super Bowls ago, that had been what they had a 5-year relationship. They had a breakup. Then they got back together. Remember, I did a whole show. I said, girl, do not stay with that man if he propose to you by Christmas. You ain't got no ring by Christmas. Go. Okay. But Kayla Nicole went back for another 2 years, I think. So they were together in total 7 years. This young lady invested so much of her time. Now, it depends on why you invested. Now, I always tell people this too. Some people have different motives for long-term relationships. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's Travis Kelce or something like that. But what I will say to people, women especially, because women have this experience a lot, where they find themselves really invested in a guy. I had a friend this happened to. I had a friend that she was invested in a guy for many years. And you could just tell. I mean, I used to say to her, I said, I don't think he wants to marry you. I don't think he's feeling it like that. And she just had a hard time with it. Finally, after many years of on and off, he says, hey, I don't really want to do this anymore or whatever. She had invested a lot of time. You know who came along and he ended up marrying? It was he ended up marrying another person whom he had always had feelings for, who had just gotten out of a relationship herself, right? Who was in a committed marriage and got out of the marriage, and they ended up together and still. And she was so mad. She was like, "What?" And I was like, "Well, all those years. I mean, for those years, he did care for you, but this was the time." And to me, she thought she was trying to give everything in her mind that. Now, I think Kayla Nicole has so she can say some certain things that because I see some troubles in this particular relationship with Travis and Taylor, but I do think that they might stay the long haul, try to stay the long haul. But my friend thought, I'm a better catch, I'm a better this and that, and she just didn't understand. And you went through all of that for her and all this stuff. And really, what I had gathered when we and her talked, I said, really, did you really like? I don't know if you really like that. I mean, maybe he sensed a sense of that you were more trying to promote what you were and who you did. This other person didn't. And you could see, it was crazy because you could see that him and the other person had they got mad chemistry. I mean, it came out of a fucked up place, but and it was fucked up for the perspective of other people, but they just had it together. I mean, and so But she was so upset and thinking all the things that she was. And I'm like, maybe that's the problem though. You thought that's what he was interested in. You thought that was his goals, and that was not. And you were only trying to see instead of getting to know him and getting to know yourself and seeing if you could you maybe what I found from my friend is that she was constantly adjusting herself to trying to be something for him so she could be, because he was very successful, so she could be in this man's life. You know what I'm saying? Let me adjust over here. He doesn't like this. Well, maybe I like this. He doesn't like this. Well, maybe I'll try to be this. He doesn't, but he was kind of telling you, hey, you know what? Shit, I don't really like you. Like, I mean, damn, I don't like that. And the more she adjusted, the more she tried to I mean, and relationships come to compromise, right? But it not is, I won't say compromise, but uh there is what I call that should be happening in relationships, a willful change that is good for each person. That each person, like iron, what is it, iron rubbing iron, like making each other stronger. The changes are good, but not a change that makes you in conflict with the core of who you are and your values, right? And I felt that that is what happened those many years. All those years, she was so invested in the picture of what she thought they should be, but he wasn't. And so that's what I'll say to you ladies out here. Be I'm trying to think of this, how I can say it. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to do something. Hold on just a minute, y'all. Technical difficulty. Okay. So, uh yeah, try what I say is what the probably the mistake, just in my personal opinion, that a young lady like Kayla Nicole made was being so interested. She wasted a lot of time because Travis had a very big lifestyle. And sometimes, unless you sometimes a lot of women especially get caught up if the man is successful in their lifestyle and everything, and it's the hope that he'll make me I will be Mrs. Such and Such. I'm gonna be her. You know, it's like I remember listening to Derek Jackson's wife on one of those shows she was on when she was doing the interviews, and she was saying how she was so ecstatic even after Derek had played on her all through their relationship, but she was so ecstatic when she married him, thinking she won out from all the girls. Like, I'm Miss Jackson, I'm this and that. Some women just are wanting the titles, and you're not seeing the complex horrible things going on that's showing you are making a bad investment. Okay. And I think that somebody like Kayla Nicole, when he broke up with you that first time, and the rumors were out here, and I'm not saying, I'm just giving y'all using Kayla Nicole has a lesson. I don't know what happened in their relationship. I don't know, but I'm just telling y'all from the rumors I heard out in these streets. Okay. The rumors was people were saying Travis was cheap, wasn't treating her, good. And he said, well, he was on one of those talk shows, and he was like, well, she like basically he said something like she made her own money. And then when he said that, I knew. I was like, And then but he didn't really answer it. He was like, yeah, she had, he basically said, yeah, I did something, like I did some things but he didn't deny he wasn't as good as he probably could have been. And I bet he's spending all kind of fucking money with Taylor Swift. Let me tell you why. Because Taylor Swift has set a fucking standard. You can't come, and all her people around her got a standard. So that motherfucker had to come through for Taylor Swift. He couldn't play no games up in Taylor Swift's world. Even if he don't like Taylor Swift, which I don't think he like her as much, I think he cares for her and loves her, but I don't think he's in it. I think he's making a decision out of what he sees going on around him. It looks good on the outside, and it is good for business, right? But I think that Taylor Swift also set standards. A lot of times, ladies, when you stay in long-term relate, when you're in with somebody, and I always tell women, what's the top? Because women say to me, what's the top for how long you should stay? I mean, a relationship. I say if you go up past, I know people say a year. Some people say 2 years. I say 5. I give it a good 5 because sometimes people, depending on what kind of relationship you're in and stuff like that, um, uh, um, uh, you can it just depends on how you guys are flowing. Are you guys really big? Are you young? If you're in your 20s and you're really busy, or you're in your early 30s and you have a guy, you and your guy are really close, and you're like, yeah, we're great together. We have fun and everything like that. And hopefully it's leading towards marriage. But you guys have the discussions of marriage and stuff like that. But you both see that maybe in your careers, you're moving real fast and you got a lot of things going on, and marriage might not be such a good thing at that point. But you do eventually plan on doing it and you are moving towards it. I say 5 years top, the longest. That's just my personal opinion. Okay. I know some people will be like, 5 years? That's crazy, Carlotta. That's a waste of time. Yeah, it is probably. But for people, if you're young, maybe not. Maybe you have a steady boyfriend for 4 or 5 years. If you're 24 and you're out here, you're just getting into your career and you really like this guy and he really likes you, and you're like, yeah, we're young yet, right? But we're committed and we're going to try to see. You can have 5 years. Or if you're 28 or 29 or maybe even 30 and you're with another guy that's around that same age, you can do 4 or 5 years if you're busy in your life. If you go past that, then I think you're deluding yourself. And I'm really testing it saying 5, okay? But I know people who did a 5-year stint of dating and relationships and knew they were going to get married and ended up married. You know what I'm saying? Um, so it is that happens. Now, if you're in this and you're there's a lot of women out here that are very sad after 2 years. You had a 2-year plan. That means you're ready to get married. If you have I have a year plan, I have a 2-year plan to get married, you are ready to get married. You don't got no time to play, so you don't want nobody else that's going to be playing. So a person with a 2-year idea for themselves, you're at a certain point in your life and stuff like that, then it shouldn't you need to get with somebody who's like-minded, and you guys can see if you can have the stuff to do that. But I tell girls all the time, when you start investing like a wife, and you start having children and everything without that marriage paper, baby, bad deal. Now, Kayla Nicole did not do that. Thank goodness for her. She did not do that. She came out of it without a child, but she also came out of there 7 years older. Sometimes, ladies, you stay too long. And what I really say is Travis Kelce played in her face. He just straight up played in her face. He played in her face. I think she very well knew it after in those interviews she was having. I think she very well knew it. And not only that, but now it's really because you really got to feel the heat because you were the last girlfriend. And now he's gone off with a pop star who's a different race from you and all these things. And everybody's like, damn, like he ain't married you, but he ain't marry her, right? There is a lot of probably self thinking going on the inside, like, wow, like, I did spend a lot of time. She spent time like she was married, and she was at a certain point of her life. He did not take a lot. He only took 2 years with Taylor Swift. Is it really even 2 years? Oh my God, that tells you that men already listen. I'm telling you, men usually know. Even when they marry you and they don't like you, they know you're not the one. They just may be biding their time because the one is not available. Men know when they feel like they have it, and they try their best to maintain it or keep it or fight for it. But he's lulling you around for 5 to 7 years, and there's no talk of marriage, no plans. We're just out here living life, traveling. And a lot of successful celebrity men do this too, because celebrity men have all the trappings of lifestyle. And celebrity men are often viewed as the prize, right? So a lot of times the women are really competing for their attention. Oh, I want, so they can jet set with Jane this week, jet set with Karen this next week, and jet set with Lulabelle this week. And everybody, all the women are in hopes of, oh, I hope I become Miss Lenny Kravitz, or I hope I become Miss Maxwell. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it gets crazy. Or so those men like, and like, or I hope I become Miss Travis Kelsey, and, and so they can play. They can play a lot. I'm not saying those men do that, but I'm saying men like that with lifestyles like that can play in your face. And because you're not setting the standard, I really believe, I'm not saying this is what happened with Kayla Nicole, but I'm saying that it's for sure that fucking Taylor Swift had a standard fucking on going around her. Now, y'all saying Taylor Swift been Carlotta, she been dating people on and off for years and everything like that. She been blah blah blah. She been running around with these different guys, but those guys were in the music show business. They were in the music business like her, tend to typically be as famous as her, and they weren't grounders. Travis is a grounder, okay, and also I think that the because she's dated so much, and because she had been with various men in the business and stuff like that, uh Travis was going to get looked at way more skeptical, and the standards for him to come in were that much tougher because of the other men. He had 2 years tops. You see what this is, because marrying Taylor Swift is not just a move that you make because you just in love. It's also, you have to consider the bit. I try to tell people this marriage really ain't romantic. If you really, really want to go into marriage in a way that I tell people now, I always tell people when they ask me I say, don't go into it romantically. They be like, what about the romance is great. Oh yeah, I have that romance. I'm not saying don't, when you got that chemistry, you got that vibe and stuff, don't have that. But I'm saying also be able to look at it from a business perspective. Like, do we merge together? Because you can love somebody, but you can also not have the chemistry it takes to create a lifestyle together that is uh reflective of your values or reflective of this and that. Sometimes two people who love each other can get together and create a mess, right? Because they may not have the same value. They may not merge together well in business, or they might not merge. Like, a lot of what's the number one reason a lot of people get divorced? Finances. People get fucked up about finances. Finances is not ain't shit romantic when you ain't got no money. That shit ain't. Okay. Coochie cats and penises go limp and coochie cats go dry. Okay. I'm just telling y'all straight. So you have to be reflective on what are you trying to accomplish together as a couple? What do you want to be together? So you think Travis Kelsey is not going into that relationship thinking he had so long to propose to this girl. He had so understanding now it's going to get business, and I'm going to see if they can outlast the business, because he's going to be asked to probably sign some prenups and all kind of shit, okay, because he is married. So I want to see how he gets past that stage, okay. uh If he's smart, nobody gives a fuck about a prenup if you got access to the coins. I had one girl, gold digger, told me that, a gold digger, for real gold digger. She told me I never gave a fuck about a prenup. She said, that's not my pre. She told me her prenup was nice, but she said I never gave a fuck about it because I got access to his money. Why would I give crap about? And I said, so what does that mean? You just have access to money? She said, baby, over the years I have expensive gifts I've got such and such, such and such. Plus, if something was to happen after certain year, I think certain amount of years it turns it, and at one point the prenup is it's not, it goes void after so long. But if it was so long, she was very mindful of her time. Now she didn't give that her time away for free. Like if the marriage lasts this long, you give me this. If it lasts this long, give me this. It was very well negotiated. But she told me she wasn't very overly done over. She didn't really trip out because of a prenup, because she said I would have access to everything in terms of how he treats me. He has a certain thing he would give me. He's going to give me being his wife. He has a certain allowance. I get to come in. I get to use his name. I got his, black cards or whatever else. So who gets, she's like, I don't give a fuck. So there are, you have to, especially when you're marrying those type of people, they then becomes the less romantic part. But I also say regular marriages can take a peek at that too, because it really becomes marriage becomes it's where, as much as it's about love and family, it's also it's about business, right? And how well you merge and how you come together, and can you create something powerful and strong. And if you can't, then you need to get out of it as quickly as possible. Okay. But I say to women, while you're investing that time, it doesn't take long. I think a lot of what happens with women like that have been in relationships, long-term relationships with men before you've invested a lot, and like a Kayla Nicole, and within 2 years or 3 years of your breakup, this guy is married to somebody else, is getting ready to engage, get married and stuff. And you like, what was different from me versus them? I think there's a couple of lessons you can learn. One thing is that women, when we come into these relationships with certain men, we're fantasizing a lot. We're projecting. When really we need to be, this is the time we need to be engaging in conversation and listening. The first three, that's why I always tell women, don't get involved so quick sexually, because even if you got that chemistry, okay, oh my God, if you got the heat, it ain't nothing like when you got that chemistry, baby. You can look at each other, you're like, woo, it's fireworks up in this joint. You know what I'm saying? But it's better to hear him, hear him, and he can hear you, so that you can know, am I going in the same direction as this guy? Am I going in the same moves? Am I making the same, instead of going and saying, oh my God, oh, this is that. He took me here. He took me here. That's not important. What's important, that's great. But what's important is what does he see himself? What does he see his lifestyle like? What does he see his this and that? Does that merge with what you see? And that doesn't mean things can't happen to change that lifestyle, right? But then after he's checked all the boxes and showed you what he could do, then that's when you have to ask yourself, can you go through this through no matter what? You know what I'm saying? I just say you can't romanticize people for a long time. Now, in the case of Kayla Nicole, I believe that a Kayla Nicole was in a competition. I mean, Travis Kelce was a hot commodity, okay? Still is, okay? So a lot of times women just want to be picked by that person, especially when they're famous men or wealthy men. So I would say to you girls who are in relationships with those type of men, don't be distracted by the other women. So what? So what? So what? You got 20 choices. Okay. So what? You got 50 choices. Okay. You're not going to distract me. You'll know within a certain amount of time if you like me or not. If you don't, then so, but I'm not scared to lose your ass. Okay. Whether I like you, care for you, I think you're a good catch or something like that. Yeah, but I understand who I am. I understand my value system. I understand the core of me, and I am not. I'm competing only for so long. After that, because I got goals and stuff. I am not going to be in the competition with you in 50 because what happens is after a while, I mean, you're like the top of the heap of the competition, but you're really not. And then he's kind of wondering because men start to wondering why are you hanging around? Like, you know what I'm saying? They think that you're still competing for being Mrs. Such and such, but really sometimes it takes a woman who has standards and says, absolutely not. I'm hey, I can see competing the first year, first 6 months. Okay. Cause you really know if you like me. Most of those men know if they like you within that year, especially men like that. Let me just say this. Okay. Girls out here, especially men who are successful and got their shit together and really moving like that, they know within a good year. They know quickly. Okay. Because the way they move, they know who the girl is. They already know if the girl is even taken right now. They know who the fuck she is. Okay. Don't even believe if you see a man, if you've been with a man long term, on and off, and he still ain't picking you, but you notice him, he's just like out thinking most of the time. He out there somewhere else in another world, another plane. That probably means it's another one that you ain't seeing somewhere that's hidden that he is waiting. He's like waiting for her. Men will waste your fucking time. Okay. They will play in your face. They will have a baby with you. They will do everything. And then when that one becomes available, the one they've been wanting, the one that sets standards on their ass and everything, they'll be out of here. Okay. Just telling y'all. Okay. In most cases. Now, in the case of Travis Kelce got hit a lick. That's my personal opinion. Now, I'm going to just say, I'm going to tell the truth. Travis Kelce done hit a lick. I believe he like her. I believe he care for her. I believe he love her, but I believe it's a lick too. I believe Travis Kelce like do you know how to fuck my career done blown up? You know what I mean? And I can't blame that. Now, I don't know how that's going to work for a man because men usually it likes to be the other way around. When you a woman, men can take a woman usually and push them to greater heights, right? Now, in the case of Jay-Z and Beyonce, now unless he's a Jay-Z, if you become, which I don't think Travis Kelce is, Jay-Z is a very special motherfucker on that note, okay? Jay-Z was not the name. It was Beyonce. Beyonce, when he came and got Beyonce, and listen, that to me, that marriage is as much a business deal as it is a relationship or whatever they got, okay? It as much as a business too, because when he got her, brought her entered the Rock Nation, Live Nation people, Rock Nation people, whatever the fuck. But he also didn't just he took the energy of Beyonce, the power that Beyonce's daddy had really created behind Beyonce. And Jay-Z took that shit and flipped it and became the guy. Talk about yielding, knowing how to move a powerhouse. He was the actual weak link when she married him. Beyonce has been the push for Jay-Z, in my personal opinions, connections, movements. And I would question whether the Live Nation think Beyonce thought that Beyonce was it worth what they thought. But that's a whole nother story. However, I'm saying that Jay-Z was able to flip that. He was able to flip it. He didn't become no man that Beyonce was getting jobs for. He don't even look like that to y'all now. Jay-Z looked like, well, I had rock name. That's because Jay-Z had kind of established himself as a business owner with Dame Dash. And then he gets on to Beyonce. And it doesn't look like Beyonce by the time the way that he flipped that energy into looking like not just a rapper that Beyonce has pushed up there with her career, but Jay-Z looks like he's an established businessman. I mean, it's pretty powerful. I really can't. I mean, most men are not able to do that. So I will say that is probably going to be the worry of Travis Kelce. If Travis Kelce can't flip that thing to look like a Jay-Z, I don't know how in a few years is he gonna like it. When he Mr. Taylor Swift. Most men hate that. You know what I'm saying? Most men hate being Mr. You got to be a special kind of dude to be Mr. Taylor Swift, right? You know what I'm saying? So if he could take it and flip it and become something powerful in his own thing, then yeah. So that's why I see that going that on that note. But back to the Kayla Nicoles of the world, you can't allow men like that to play in your face and put you out there and have you there for 7 years competing because he looks like the prize. And in some ways he is. Listen, don't get me wrong. Was Travis Kelce a prize to Kayla Nicole? Hell yeah. Kayla Nicole ain't had no money like Travis Kelce did. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be delusional, girls. You got to know, yeah, he might be a great catch, but damn it, I ain't invested 7. Is he great catch worth of 7 years? And then he don't want to, then at the end, he don't really want to deal with me. And I done wasted my good years. As a woman, you have to be. I just thank goodness she didn't have no kids. Don't have no kids either, okay? Because I'm gonna talk about Jazzy in a minute with Cam Newton, okay? Because kids it could make it harder, okay? Everybody ain't Sierra. It ain't a lot of Russells out here. Okay. So I mean, I want you. So with you women, the most powerful thing you have is one of the most powerful things you have is your womb. Do not be letting anybody have your womb, or without, I think, a ring. That's just my personal opinion. I'm smacking in y'all for ear. That's okay. Do not. I'm glad Kayla Nicole was smart enough to not let that happen. Okay. But she did give a long 7 years. Or is it 5? Some of y'all say 5, some of y'all say 7. 5, 7. It was a long time. Okay. And only to see this man go off with a pop store and give me. So that's why I'm just saying to you guys, if you're dealing with a guy who is successful and he's got his pick of the litter and he's confused and he's like, I don't know what I want. Well, then you set the standard and say, well, I know what I want. Now, I'm not saying play no games because I saw something the other day where I saw this woman, she was playing games. I said, girl, please. I'm not saying play no games with these guys. I'm saying that once you make that decision you're not going to let your standard be for real. Don't let your standard be some game you're playing. Because they'll sniff that out right away. Your standard has to be, hey, I wanted to be in a relationship. I wanted to be married by this time. We're not going the same place. I'm moving on. Even though it hurts me. And if he comes back and tries to do a spin the block, don't even try to marry him at that point, because the spin the block, he might be ready to get married because he's bored and he ain't got nobody out there, or the one is taken, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So don't even do that. You got to say, look, well, I don't. Is it right? Is it, or is it time? Is it? You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that they not coming back. What's the motives behind them coming back? Because that's what happened with Kayla Nicole. He came back. He came back for another 2 years, I think. But she had the first breakup with him. He was gone. And then he came back. And I said, girl, if he come back, if he don't marry you, I remember saying and having that show. I said, if he don't marry you by that Christmas, you don't have no ring, you need to be walking out the door. But it was the allure probably of being Mrs. Travis Kelce that she tried to stay around. Bad investment. Okay. Now it took Taylor Swift less than 2 years. See? And he probably knew it a year ago that he was gonna marry her. Regardless of his reasons, he knew, I believe, a year ago that he's probably gonna marry that girl. Okay. And despite all the whirlwind going around him, I'm smacking in y'all ear. Y'all know this is a crazy show, okay? But despite all the craziness going on around him, he knew, I think, a while back what he was gonna do. It is not a surprise to him. I don't think it's and I think it's just more to tell you women. That's why I just had this show to use them as an example. Don't let anybody play in your face that long. You can't play in my face that long. You can't. No. No, let's get what's real. You don't like me. And I want to wish you love and to go after whoever it is that you really like. But over here, the standards are, this is going to take. That's what I said about my friend. My friend was so mad about the man she had waited around for, but she didn't have a standard. The other girl was going on about her business, had moved on, had gotten another committed relationship, everything. And what was he doing? He was out there because he was like, she's just not gonna break from that. You better have some. And he had something to fight for. With my friend, he had nothing to fight for. It was easy pickings. He's like, wasn't no thrill of the chase. Okay, so some of you girls have to have some standards. You can't be around there 7 years delusional thinking somebody gonna pick you after 7 years. And especially, sometimes people will. But when you done gave them the milk for free, they say that, why buy the cow when you can have the milk for free? When you're doing everything that a wife should be doing, when you're doing everything that a wife does, see, a wife is invested. Let me get y'all straight on this. Wives can leave out of marriages tonight, and they can take something if they want to. Unless they had a prenuptial agreement signed or something like that. And they still get something usually. Okay. Wives have access. Wives have last names. Even if it doesn't work out with a wife, you still can you still can come out of it sometimes better. You don't have children. You don't do wife duties without being married. There should be a cause for that. But you girls make it so easy. I said this today the other day. I went to go see Denzel Washington's movie with ASAP Rocky. No offense, see, please don't get me. I love y'all know how I love me some Rihanna. Rihanna is one of my favorites. Rihanna is allegedly doesn't look like she's a marriage to her. ASAP Rocky is anywhere in sight. Okay. But I was looking, I said, wow. He was doing a lot of interviews because he's done the movies. I said, if this guy goes up in acting, watch out, Rihanna. If he starts to establish his own vibe, his own stardom, his own, he's already popular, but he's not nothing like Rihanna. If he starts to become something like the up and coming actor, a known actor, making his own money, more film, he might start to see there. Do I really want to be married to her? I've already got everything from her. I've extracted. I'm already the baby's daddy. She done did everything a wife done. Unless they secretly married, I can see him totally not staying with a Rihanna if he makes it big in acting. Okay, Rihanna has just, in my personal opinion, she might think, "Oh, I'm a billionaire. I've had 2 or 3 kids. I can handle. We're gonna be together. We're just non-traditional." No, it's still the same rules apply. To me, when you do wife duties and you're not married, that's not smart. Even when you're the billionaire, but she can afford to do it. But I really say, women who can't afford to, you should not be having babies. It's not wise to be playing wifey and not wifey. And if you're gonna be in those long-term relationships like that, don't live with them. Uh, you should be dating other people. It should just be one of your relationships. Okay, don't take it seriously. Okay, until you see they're ready to take it seriously. So I hope that's what I wanted to come on and talk to y'all about. That specific thing. I saw that today and I thought about when women stay too long. Sometimes you are staying too long. When you're waiting for the ring. And he never plans on giving you the ring. I saw a man put up the other day. Something about what he put? He put something about women chasing. And he was saying how certain type of women don't chase, they attract and stuff. I said, damn, whoever that's to something. I mean, what in my time, personal opinion, some women out there who have invested the time, who has been the chaser to that particular person, look at what he said. I was telling them, look at what the people men tell you all the time. One of my worst relationships that I was in, the man always told me, he always was he was like, I am the devil. I'm okay. Are you okay with being with the devil? I don't know. You seem to have a problem. I know who I am. Do you know who you are? And I'm steady adjusting, moving. And he's like, I'm not adjusting. I'm not moving. I am the devil. There's no compromise here. I'm good with it. You need to come in here. So, but you start as a woman, you're investing a bunch of time, you're investing a bunch of energy, you're doing a lot of uh, you're doing a lot of crazy stuff. You're trying to fit in, trying to make this person believe you're the one. When they really do, they're really saying, "I'm not going to change." And as a matter of fact, I don't appreciate that you're changing. I know who I am. It used to be so funny because the guy, I was young, and the guy used to really kind of tell me, he was really like very forward. And I remember he even said to me one time, he's like, what did he say to me about? Because I was going to church. I was at church or something one Sunday, and I come home, and he called me and stuff like that. And I remember I said, "Yeah, well, you should be in church." He said, I'm not a church person. That's your thing." I'm like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not even interested in what you interested in. Now you gonna roll with this or you not. And the more I try to waste time trying to make that person something they wasn't doing it. Okay. And so a lot of women will see that person's post, that man's post, and still continue to do what he just told you that he wasn't interested in. And the reason why this particular band I saw do it because he's successful and got it going on and stuff like that. And I said, shit. I said, well, who the fuck ain't chasing? I mean, it's a lot of people chasing, but he trying to say that he's saying that he's giving the word. Now right now, he playing this probably more than likely. This person I saw post that up is more than likely playing in somebody's face right now who been chasing him. Playing in their face. And the person that's been chasing them or going after them like that, um, they they are not seeing or understanding what he's saying. He's giving you, telling you what he is, but it's hard for you because you're like, he's responding, he's doing this, he's doing that. Yeah, it's bait to keep you there, to keep him entertained. You can be a man's entertainment for 7 years. You can be his entertainment for 5. You can be his entertainment for 2 months. You can be his They don't. I'm trying to tell. Do not. You can't. What I love what I always use you from your trigger. Don't play it. Don't let them play in your face. Stop it. Stop letting them play. Kayla Nicole let Travis Kelce play in her face for 7 years. 5 to 7 years, this man played in her face. They said this man was cheap, didn't hardly pay no trips allegedly for her or do anything. And when she saw that, when she saw the lack of investment, I tell women all the time, if you got lack of fucking investment, then that's really telling you that somebody don't like you. If they lack an investment, no, like no, what you ain't got. You gotta go. You going on the trip? He a multi-millionaire. You going on the trip? He like, yeah, baby, you got your flight. He don't like you. Well, maybe he just tested me, Carlotta, to see if I'm after his money. No, he don't like you. If you got a multi-millionaire who is asking you to pay for your trip with him to come visit him at Turks and Caicos, and you got to pay for your own trip, he don't like you. Now, if those rumors was true with Kayla Nicole that he wasn't hardly paying nothing, and some women get delusional. Well, they think, because this is what happens. A lot of y'all too get stuck in these relationships like this because you be like, I got my own money. I ain't gotta have, you know what I'm saying? I can pay my own stuff and stuff like that. But it keeps you delulu to the fact that he ain't investing in you. And he like, yeah, baby, you an independent woman. Yeah, you independent because he don't really want to invest that much in you. He can hang out with you. You kind of like a free ride, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So sometimes that's why I'm saying you have to. If, like I said, Travis Kelce, I bet he invested in Taylor Swift. Well, he is now. He done bought a ring. He done bought a diamond ring. And even though she the woman with the most money, she got more money probably than any woman he ever been with. If it's true what they were saying about Kayla Nicole that he wasn't investing, give or take it, she had to pay for half of stuff and all this stuff. I guarantee you, this motherfucker has been paying stuff for Taylor Swift. Because why? Taylor Swift got a standard. He already knows Taylor Swift got a lot of money. So he know he can't come in there looking like he the you know, because he know people already looking at him side eye. Because we know he getting good business deals. Everything done went up since Travis Kelce done married Taylor Swift. Stuff he probably would have never got with Kayla Nicole. Okay, especially being a black woman in America, that's gonna have some effect too. But now he's with a worldwide pop star. His brother's business is going up. His sister's podcast went up. Everybody, the Taylor Swift effect has happened. Okay, so you think he wasn't coming up because Taylor Swift has standards? You think he wasn't coming up in there and she's the richest and he wasn't paying? He wasn't paying for shit. I bet he was paying for more shit than he's ever paid for in his life. But as Kayla Nicole, who didn't have as much money for his Taylor Swift, was taking pride and stuff now out of paying my way. And the fact that, oh, I'm paying, you know, I'm an independent woman. I'm this and that. Girl, please. A man who cares about you will invest in you. He ain't asked. Puffy didn't. Puffy, look at Puffy. I'm going to use Puffy as an example. He's a scrappy man. Puffy's ass was in jail, still paying for a woman's rent who testified against him. You can't tell me she's some sort of investment to him, some sort of importance. Even if he don't want to marry her, he's something. Men, where your heart is, so lies your treasure. Now, all the time you have to find out where that man, and they are super rich men who will throw money at you because money ain't nothing to them. Then that's not their treasure. But if you got a super rich man who values his time and he said, hey, I moved around some meetings and everything so I can make sure we got that weekend together at the Maldives or whatever. And you're like, oh, that's him investing his time. Because you know, if a man, you got to find out what a man's value system is. If his value is, hey, my values is not, I can give gifts. If he giving all the girls necklaces, diamond necklaces, you know that money ain't shit to him, okay? If it's 70 y'all girls and y'all all got the same necklace to prove that you is a girl, then that's not that big deal to him, okay? But if he is limited on his time and he values his time and he is suddenly making moves to include you or do the, then that means he values you and he cares about you. But if he ain't doing none of that, he don't got no, he ain't, listen, actions to speak, baby. Don't tell me about nobody, I know no feelings, no chemistry. I don't give a shit. You might feel them from across the room. You might be looking in their eyes deeply from wherever. It does not matter if your actions are not moving. It just does not. Men place value, place something they value in the people they care for. I got to tell you, I have another story. Years ago, one of my friends and me went to a big thing. One of her guys was like, she was like trying to talk to him. She liked him. He liked her. They'd always be looking at each other, flirting and everything like that. So I was like, oh, girl. I said, you know, she was like, yeah, you know. And so we went to one of his he played an instrument. So we went to one of his kind of function as jazz things or whatever. And me and her laugh about this to this day, right? So he like, he comes out, he greets her. He's like, "Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Oh, yeah, it's good to see. Yeah, blah 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 blah." And so she's all excited. She's like, "Oh my God, he spoke. We talked and everything." And he even text. Well, he didn't text her. He called her. I think he called that night or something. This was a long years ago. So she's happy he called. We find out the next week or so. The next week she calls me and she says, "Can you believe what this motherfucker did?" And I said, "What?" And she says, "He is been telling me he wants to take it slow, essentially breadcrumbing her. But he didn't tell her that night that him and his people had a big dinner and a big party or whatever. And this girl who he was claiming to be caring about and liking so much, he didn't even fucking invite her." Let me tell you what he did. He had his ex there. Damn. I said, "Oh, snap." She's like, "I ended completely. He's upset with me. He's mad at me." I said, "You did the right fucking thing. How the fuck you, we traveled a long fucking ways, and the last thing you could do." He's like, "Well, I had to take care of business." But she had a person she had a person that knew him and knew her shit. And she was telling this person that she was cool with, said, "Yeah, I kind of like him. He's digging me." She said, "That's interesting." The girl told her, she said, "Because he just had a big thing the night after that, and and his ex was there." And my friend's like, "Oh no." But my friend didn't waste no time. She didn't let him tell her nothing, because what she realized is, you don't really like me. That she's like, "We can be cool. I understand where it is now. I'm not gonna be doing this for you. I'm not gonna be traveling for this. If I do travel for this or do that, it's just gonna be because I'm hanging out, and I want to. I might want to hang with it, but this is not serious to me. And he was really quite upset about that and then he really started to pursue her and chase her. But at that point, she was so pissed off because she was like, the recklessness of not seeing the importance of me, yet you had your ex. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And she said she understood, because we were like, she's like, "I understood we weren't together." But she said, I could have just been a friend or what, anything. She said, the whole thing is we're getting to know each other. But that told her so much that she needed to slow down, because that person was not as invested in her as he claimed, and he was still very much invested in getting probably an ex back. Right. So that's why I say sometimes, women, you have to see where men place what they put in value, and what they place value in, or what they place their important. If a man is not giving you his time, and he values it, or if he's not giving you, or if he's investing his money in you. Now sometimes that ain't nothing either. Men can invest money because they got a lot of it, and they might invest it in 10 other girls, like Puffy, I believe the women had some value to him, but Puffy also had a lot of money to throw around, to the point, like I said, he was paying $10,000 a month for somebody who testified against him. So what is Puffy's value in? Let me just say that. Let me take this back about what I said about Puffy, because what I see there is the Young Miami situation. Young Miami, to me, seemed very valuable to him. The reason why is he invested, because what Puffy did with Young Miami that you never saw him do with the other women. And you always see this has a value in, he's a Scorpio male too. Okay, so he likes power, he likes certain things or whatever. I think Puffy with Young Miami, he invested in her career. personally got in there with her, showed up on her show. Like Cassie, yeah, he was he in a Cassie video? Nope. He was probably throwing money at it, but I don't really know if he really believed in Cassie. He probably liked Cassie to a certain point, but I don't know if he really just thought of Cassie as a young girl that I really like. I kind of seem like I love. She got the aesthetic or something, but she ain't got the smarts or whatever. But Young Miami, you got that street smarts. She had everything, and she was willing. Whatever she did to trigger Puffy, she knew she understood Puffy's value system, and she understood that money wasn't his value system. Puffy, all the other women, and even having children. Oh, I'm about to upset some people out here, okay? Even having a baby with Puffy wasn't that wasn't where he placed. Like he cares for his children and everything like that, but he never married any of them women, those women. And he didn't invest in their careers like that. I mean, he may have gave them some money to help them do something or do something like that, but he wasn't in on it. So having a kid wasn't in his value. That giving you a baby didn't make you special to Puffy either. I mean, it was important to him, and he loves his kids probably, but what you do see constant in Puffy's life is if Puffy gets involved with you from a career standpoint, that's something different. Only other girl I saw that was with Jennifer Lopez. Was it Jennifer Lopez? He saw something in her, and she saw something in him. She saw where his true value, and that's why the other women got mad, because they saw he then was spending personal time. Now, did he give all his time to her? Yeah, he was still messing with other women and stuff, but he was giving extra a powerful truth. That's how I know he cared about her. He cared about young Miami because he was starting to invest his wisdom in her. Ooh, his time coming on her show. He gave her a show because Puffy values his businesses to a point. He was valuing at that time Revolt. And for her to give him, for him to give her a show, people know Puffy's at a business. That's where his value was. So women, when you get involved with men, understand their value systems. That's why you have conversations with them. So you can understand, what do they value? Where does their treasure lie? It might not lie in money. It may not lie in marrying you. If you got a man that's been married 6 or 7 times, he don't give a fuck about marriage. You like, marriage it mean I'm special. Maybe not. Maybe he's a serial marriage person, right? You know what I'm saying? But if you see where his true treasure is, like his treasure is, this dude don't rarely give up finances that much. Or this dude doesn't invest his time easily. You can't be, if you get in his time, you got to be special to him. Or if you're getting his wisdom, or if you're getting his ear. Ooh, that's another thing. I like to have the ear. Because when you got the ear, when you got the ear of someone, you can move them because really, I feel like a woman, that's where her greatest power is, and sometimes it's influence and inspiration when you use it in the right way, not in a bad way, but when you use it in the right way to help shift someone and care. When a man, when you got his ear, when he said, "Hey, I got it," you know what? He may be dealing with a lot of women or something like that. But he says, I'm not gonna make no moves without talking to such and such. And everybody the other women like, well, why can't you talk to me about it? That means he don't like. He already know who is some reason that he ain't marrying her, or she may not want to get married. If his ear is value, if what comes into his mind and stuff like that is value, and this woman got that ear, all you other girls are just playing. He's just playing with y'all. The girl who got his ear It's the one who can speak to him, can move him, can shift him, can, you know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing with that. You can't do that. You can have babies. You can be a baby mama. You can be a wife. Even when a mistress has the ear of a man and the influence of a man, it's almost like even you can snuff out a wife. It all depends on what that value system is to that man. That's why you always hear women. I was watching on Shane the other day. She had a sex worker on, and she was saying the sex worker was talking about some of the things that men do, like value sexually, they'll come to her for or something like that. But sometimes she could have greater influence, I think, than the wives, because sometimes men just like they want somebody to listen to them, or they want somebody this and that. It's crazy. So I think a lot of times what happens in relationships is women do not understand that value system. And when you do understand it, you'll understand a lot quicker if you're in that man's cards. And I've seen it in all kind of, there's never an excuse, okay? Because women make it. I had one person I knew. Well, it was another friend of mine who had a friend. It's a friend of mine's friend, and she was, what was it? Her and her husband called themselves separated, so-called separated, still living together and stuff like that. And so she was having a relationship with this guy, right? And my friend and her had called me. We were just talking one night, and so she was telling me about it. And she's having a relationship. She's like, he doesn't. He's saying, because I'm in this situation, blah 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 blah, and this is why he won't do this and do this and stuff like that and everything like that. So I was just listening to her, and she's just really beating herself up. She's like, I can't make the decision. I'm not sure making the decision. I said, girl, stop beating yourself up. And she said, yeah. I said, first of all, I said, let me help you right now. I said, you guys are in the midst of a separation or whatever. She's like, yeah, well, um, I said, if the other person really cared about you, I said, no way, he'd be fighting for you to be out. Yeah, but you don't understand. I am in blah, blah, blah. No, I understand completely. And he don't see you like that. He don't even give a fuck. He don't really get you. You just somebody he fucking around with. You trying to get serious about this. He not serious. At least not yet. He not serious. I don't understand what you mean. I'm not giving him any. She's beating herself up. Now he's bold enough to be fucking around with her, but all of a sudden, when it comes to her making major decisions, he ain't got nothing to say. He hands off and all that stuff. That's because he doesn't want you like that. He don't want the responsibility of you. He like the other man having the responsibility of you. He don't want the responsibility of you. You got to hear what a man is trying to talk to you. He's trying to say when a man got responsibility. I heard Shannon Sharp say one time he paid for a woman's divorce. I said Shannon Sharp wanted that woman. He wasn't playing no fucking games. He's like, I want you. Get up out of there. Okay. It is never, men know what they want. They ain't playing no games with y'all. Damn, I hate to tell y'all that in a raw form, but I had to tell this girl that. I said, he don't give a fuck. He's up there. He's just fucking around with you. He ain't serious. And gonna find out he wasn't. He had another person he was engaged to. She didn't know it. So that's where that was going. It had nothing to do with whether she got single or not. The whole thing was he was telling her the whole time what his value was. She wasn't listening. She was beating up herself, saying, well, because really she should have just took it not seriously. You in the middle of coming, you see here, he ain't really, like, she was falling in love, but he wasn't. I told her, I said, girl, don't you hold up. Don't you do nothing stupid. he he not he not giving you that energy. And it was hard for her. After I had that conversation with her, it was very hard for her to realize that, because she had beat up herself for so long, because she was guilty. She felt guilty about not knowing what to choose between going back to her committed relationship or going off into a new space. But this person, because he was trying to act like he was serious, but his actions weren't saying serious. Anytime she tried to have those major talks and major discussions with him, he wanted nothing to do with it. And I said, that is the thing to tell you, he don't give a, he don't really want you like that. And she thought, you're wrong. It's not that. It's just that my situation is so difficult. Well, if your situation was so difficult, he wouldn't be fucking flirting with you. He wouldn't have fucking flirted with you. He wouldn't have fucking got with you. He was bold enough to flirt with you. He was bold enough to start messing around with you. He knew what situation and space you was in your life. It didn't stop him from fucking around with you, right? Didn't stop him from doing nothing. So if he could do all of that, he can't talk to you about nothing major. No, because for him, as far as it's going, is physical, sweetheart. And that was hard to say to her. Broke her heart. You know what I'm saying? But she later on, my friend told me, said, yeah, girl, you was right. He was, went to another woman and all that. So, child, this baby, hey, everybody been there. And she was just like, she thought the whole time it was her. Like, I'm being difficult. I'm making it so bad. I'm this and that. And meanwhile, she kept putting herself in a space where she was wasting time. She wasn't, you know what I'm saying? She couldn't see what was in front of her really well, because this motherfucker was selling her a delusion. And she's coming out of a committed relationship, you know what I'm saying? Or trying to, and still not sure where she at. And he's just there wasting time. He ain't really there for nothing serious. He tried that, but he came in there like he was there for something serious, because he knew there was no other way she was going to mess with him. But I always tell people, let that person's actions speak to you. If their actions are not doing what they claim to feel for you, because actions show up. When somebody cares for you, their actions show. Okay? They're invested. Okay, ladies, so that's all I'm gonna say to that. Okay, I think I gave a good speech on that. I hope you guys understand. Okay, let me keep a couple of more things I wanted to get on this from the show for y'all, hot topics, before we go off of here today. I know I was everywhere today, y'all, but hopefully y'all got what I'm saying. Okay, congratulations to Travis Kelce and
innocence so much. Let me tell you why. I want to be
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I'm not surprised. Okay, so I saw a young man talking about this. Since we were having a relationship discussion today, I saw a young man talking about this. I got him up here, talking about how men value innocence. I was like, wow, I agree with him. It's very good, deep what he said. So I'm gonna let y'all hear him. What he said. And this is from Men Value Innocence one, but this is from I can't see what it shows. Rafael Vargas show. Rafael Vargas. Okay, so listen to him, what he has to say.
Be the first person that shows my woman a 4,000 square foot penthouse. I want to be the first person that shows my woman Medellin, Colombia. I want to be the first person that takes her to Poppy Steak and gets the steak with the. I want to be the first man that puts my woman in a Rolls Royce. Innocence is absolutely incredibly attractive to men like us. Okay? Imagine going with a woman, you put her in a Rolls Royce and she's like, yeah, my ex had this. Yeah, I've been in one of these. Oh, this is the Cullinan. I've been in the Phantom. Oh, this isn't a Bugatti. Oh my God. Oh, Poppy Steak. And she's hugging the Poppy Steak security. She's giving a kiss to the waitress, the waiter. They're dapping each other up. They're haram. Disgusting. Men value innocence so much. Let me tell you why. I want to be the first person.
Okay, I agree with this. I'm surprised. I didn't know that still it still was that kind of game out there. I agree that men, it used to be that way with men. Men don't want a woman. I always laugh because, well, and I think because sometimes we're always looking at the celebrity world, and the celebrities tend to date within a circle. They all date the same people and stuff like that. And so I think because we see that world so much, and it influences in some ways, or has some sort of inspiration over our world, and so we think, do men value women who hasn't done a lot of women try to get smart on like stuff like that, because you think that's why what you need to know to date somebody who's got successful or something like that. But actually men really do value a sense of innocence. And I was so glad to hear somebody say, hey, he wants to be the first to take you to Turks and Caicos. Listen, it's no knock against women who dated men successfully and stuff like that. But it is a beautiful thing when I think for men when they when they find that you now some men do like women who already are in the know and already got it going because for business purposes and things like that. I understand that. But I love that he said that. I think because I think so many girls are, so many young women especially, but I say this goes for older women too. Okay, don't feel bad because I know what half that shit was he was talking about. I was like, who up here? What? Right? You know what I'm saying? But I think for young girls, older women, or anybody who's out there dating, I think it is important. You don't have to know everything. I do believe you need to have a sense of understanding, a sense of intelligence, be able to hold conversations, be smart. That doesn't mean you can't learn about interesting things, or you can't learn about things, the world, and learn about this and that and everything. But I don't think you have to be it. So many people today are out here to prove they're a boss bitch, or they're this and that. Always trying to look the part. I'm cultured. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this and that, I'm this and that. And sometimes you got cultured idiots, right? They know how to use the right fork and the right spoon, but they're idiots in their thoughts and what I'm saying? They know how to be around the right people and everything like that, but they're just like this. And so sometimes there are some people out there who understand, some men who really don't value, who value that you don't know, maybe how you don't know. Like he was talking about Poppy Steakhouse. What the fuck is Poppy Steakhouse? I never heard of it. Right? But he said, hey, oh, is that the one in I think that's in Dallas. Is that in Dallas? It's a Poppy Steakhouse, I think, in Dallas. It's a real exclusive. Yeah, but he wants to, if you don't know, he wants to be but what you can learn when you start going out with a guy that's got some success or something like that, you might say, hey, you know what, you might can come to somebody, a person who knows, maybe go to a charm school or something like that, learn how you use the right for, how you use the school. And like my first 4-star restaurant I went to, I said to the waiter, I didn't know. I said to him, I don't really know. And I was young. I said, I really don't know. Can you really guide me through this? He was like, sure. He said, so many people come here and try to play like they know. Right? You know what I'm saying? And he was like, he said, I appreciate, because I had read that's what you do, and they are able to write. And he helped us to this day. I still don't really know, but he brought me out the things, because I was with some other people, and he brought out the stuff, and I had whispered it to him. He brought myself. He was like, and this, he said it there, looked at me in the eye, like, that's what you're gonna use for this course. Right? And because I was with some bougies. Right? Okay, and I got you the next one. Okay, and this is what you're gonna do for this one. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? And it looked like I was coach but they didn't know he was helping me. I had talked to him, I whispered to him, kind of like, and he was like, he said, that's sure. But I think sometimes you think a lot of these girls today, it is so kind of disheartening. Like you trying to learn all the outer things, and you're not getting the inner things. And here this guy is saying, and you want to pretend like when you go out with these guys that you know what it's like to go to Poppy Steak, you know what it's like to ride on a private jet, you know what it's like to do this. And some of y'all just, you ain't been there, you know what I'm saying? And it's okay. He said, hey, I like to be the first. I don't want a girl that's just in the know all the time and stuff like that. And he probably doesn't mean that you can't, you know, he probably wants you to learn something and know something, but he's just saying, hey, I like to be the first. It's kind of cool to hear that from a guy's perspective, because I think so many people think today. I just remember I played that guy a couple of weeks ago who was saying, you need to know how to be cultured out here when you do this, and you need to do this. I was like, not really, because there's some men out here don't value all that. They've got the lifestyle and everything. They'll hire somebody to teach you that they really like you. Okay, so that's why, that's why I was saying I thought that was very cool that he said that, and I thought that doesn't mean you can't learn new things or understand new ways of being cultured and being upscale and things like that. You know what I'm saying? But there, you it's so cool to know that situation. Like years ago, when I was a kid, let me tell you a story. I was a kid. I learned to swim, but I didn't swim that much. Okay, I didn't, and I was always I just was funny about water. I mean, I love the water, but I was like, I didn't keep up with it. So when I got an adult, there was this guy I was dating, and he's like, he said, yeah, he wanted to go somewhere, and he wanted to take me. I was like, well, you know what? I really can't swim, I don't think. And he was like, what? I'm like, I'm Black, I'm Generation X. And he's like, he didn't even care. He was like, I can teach you. I was like, oh my God. Even though I didn't end up but he was so hyped about teaching me or taking me through the experience of trying to learn. He thought that was just the best fucking thing in the world. And so sometimes you can't be ashamed to say something to somebody that you don't know something, or you don't know how to do this, or you don't know how to do that. There are men out there that still value your sense of innocence to their worlds. Okay. So that I thought was interesting. Okay. All right. So he said she hugging he said she hugging on the waiter. She know everybody in the place. That's hilarious. Okay. Tyrese this week had a discussion. Kirk Franklin's been having these discussions on his show about relationships and stuff. Okay. And Tyrese talks about his body count on here. Okay. So let's listen to what Tyrese had to say.
Serious. I would be considered a pussologist. I'm just playing.
Go ahead, continue.
So going back to my specific career, everywhere I go, every audience I perform in front of, every club I host, I pretty much never see dudes. It's all women. It's been that way from the beginning.
My God.
And so I got to a point where I'm safe here, but if I felt even more safe, I would be willing to go public with what I believe my number is. But it's crazy.
But I want you to feel
what I've been doing. No, I'm not going to mention the number.
Oh no.
But I'm saying what I believe my number is a little scary, because I got to a point where a powerful man of God asked me a question, and he said, without even coming at me, he just said, hey, Reese, let me ask you, man, how many more?
Mm-hmm. That's deep. Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, how many more? He did not come at me. I was not attacked. I didn't feel attacked. He didn't be like, come on, like, how many? When you been out here doing that? I mean, come on. He said, how many more? So before he asked me the question, I already had it in my head that I'm doing too much, too often, too many cities, too many states, too many countries.
Wow, countries on top of it.
But
Lord
then,
Jesus.
when he asked me the question, I made this connection. Okay, why? You either a sex addict and you out here just trying to put your wee in everything and you just losing your damn mind, or it's coming from something.
In a conversation.
Yeah, so my body count is.
Okay, I'm laughing at the comments. The comments are saying, "Oh, so he ran through, shaking my head, LOL," and they like probably cried each time. People, y'all stupid. Okay, some of the comments are funny on the neighborhood talk. It's neighborhood talk. It says uh he said Tyrese pouring out his entire life story, and Kirk over there just tearing up food up, ain't giving no real advice at all. No dick discipline got him the life he deserved. Ooh. Oh. Whoa. Legendary library. Ooh. And some woman said here over Phoenix said men literally do not value their bodies at all and have the gall to call women easy. That's disgusting, to be honest. I wouldn't want a man like that. You know, I think a lot of women, though, these men are the prize. That's what, listen, men are at if you go to a concert, there are women, and women are at, like, you know, women are at these shows. I'm at the shows. Every woman, women, single, married, everybody at the shows, okay? And the women are there. And these men, listen, these men are sexy when they're singing. I always tell women, listen, that fucking stage don't mean nothing to me. I don't give a fuck. You can look as sexy. We was young. We went to go see, me and my girlfriend went to go see this. Me and my girlfriend Netta, we used to cut up at concerts. Me and Netta, we cut up. Like we didn't like you, we was cutting up. We'd be in the front cutting up. So one group came out one time, they thought they was fine. And they was singing to it. Boy, my friend, she's so scared. She got out her book and like a program and started reading it right there in the show. And then he's like, the dude kept trying to. I was like, so we ain't trying to offend nobody out here. She said, but I'm offended though. It was fun. Yeah, we would cut up like. And this one dude, this one singer, very popular. If I tell y'all now who it was, he came over and he was singing to it. He opened up his shirt. Oh, me and my friend, we was young then, but we started laughing, and my girlfriend started making wings, like she was flying away. Boy, I said, fool, and people was laughing over us at first time. Y'all so fools or whatever. I mean, I know we hurt the man's feelings. But we was clowns. Right? But what I always realized, okay, is that these men look good on stage, okay? Fucking stage, these motherfuckers look good because they in their anointing. Let me just tell y'all that when they on the stage, that's why I be telling y'all when Usher be giving y'all cherries and shit, and y'all be like, Usher, give me the cherry, Usher, and you be all sexy, seductive with shit. Usher's ass is on the stage right now. He is in his anointing bag. He is in the bag of his career. He look good, damn good. Men look damn good when they in their passion. See that motherfucker off stage is where you'll learn it. Okay. I am never impressed by that stage, baby. The stage is cute. I like it. It's cute. Hey, yeah, that's cute. I like it. It's cute. But it is always who you meet. And not even who you meet in the meet and greets. Girl, meet and greets is still the stage. I tell people all the time, meet and greets is still the stage. But you still get it there. Like some women go to the meet and greets, like you'll go to the meet and greets and say, oh, I thought he was tall up on stage. He's short. Girl, I thought he was all that. Girl, I looked at him. He was like, he wasn't all that at all. Because you see the person, they're off stage. They're out of their energy and stuff like that. And so women, it is a mistake to go to these shows with these R&B artists and rhythm and blues and stuff. And I understand some of them ain't loud. And now, wait a minute, I ain't gonna lie. Lenny Kravitz, I ain't met Lenny Kravitz yet, but shit, is that just the stage? Some of my people say nope. Maxwell's not just I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I met Maxwell a few times. He's fine, okay? But it's a meet and greet. Meet and greets don't tell me anything either, okay? So meet and greets are great, but that's still they're still in their performance energy, all right? You really don't, and even when you meet them in a one night stand, if you some of you groupie girls, he's still performing. He's still being the R&B star. He's still Tyrese. He's still giving you Tyrese, the star. I met a Scorpio. He paused. I said, I know that's right, Tyrese. You did me the Scorpio, boy. When you got to pause for the whole song, that's how deep we are. I met a Scorpio. He paused the whole song. I said, boy, you know. And you don't get, listen here, you don't get that, Tyrese, are you ready for me? You got to have something, you get that. He said he met a Scorpio. He paused that whole damn song. Hold up. Let me pause it for y'all. Because these girls ain't no joke. But anyway, digress. When you meet us, even Tyrese is not Tyrese. You know who Tyrese is? Tyrese is that dude on them interviews that be talking, the one that was talking about Samantha, and we got married in his house, and we did this, and we loved, and how can she just walk away? That was a Scorpio. You know what I mean? That's Tyrese. Tyrese is also the dude on here talking about fighting his baby mamas and Corey, his ex-wives. That's Tyrese. Okay, so the illusion, you just know that when you're with these men, that is an illusion for a night. You get to know them is something else. Tyrese said he was having these relationships. He slept with so many, he said, women. He would be considered a pussologist. And that the women were, he said he wasn't just sleeping with women in the States, it was all around the world. Now let me say something, Samantha. I know Samantha, that's why you be prayed up. Samantha, now I get it. That's why Samantha be like, Jesus, be up there singing and Jesus. Listen, because Samantha was battling some spirits. That's a lot of spirits. That's a lot of spirits to be laying with, even the ones around the world. And listen, around the world, you even start getting into, because it's like we're at around the world. Because, American culture, we know certain odd vibes in our own culture and stuff like that. But around the world, you can be dealing with different spirits and energies and warlock energies and witch energies. oh, baby. So that's why I say, if you let me tell you, little girls, I'm trying to tell you, that's why people laughing, talking about Tyrese, that, talking about, that's why he was running around, and that's why really, I'm gonna be honest with you, probably why he's having a hard time maintaining his marriages, because I love when Lenny Kravitz said, let me tell you something. Sexy Lenny Kravitz, I don't know if you lied or not, but that was sexy as hell when he said, I've been celibate for 9 years. I said, oh shit. I loved it because he don't got to be. Oh, you understand how much freaking fucking power that is? You ain't got, first of all, he's a Gemini, so I know you want to hug. What I used to call Lenny Kravitz, nomad hoe with no home, nomad. But when he came out and said he was celibate for 9 years, I don't know if he's lying or not, but my God, I was like, oh, because Lenny, they be throwing the coochie at Lenny. Coochie cat, just throwing it at him. And to have that much power, you got that much power as a man that you like, nope, I don't think I want that. I don't want that. I ain't messing with that. I ain't for none. Fuck now. Some men talking about he must be gay. He must he got that's a man. That's a man carrying weight. That's a man carrying power because he can have any motherfucker out here he want to. Not anybody, but a lot of y'all. Single, married, divorced, whatever y'all are. Lenny Kravitz can pull y'all easily. Listen, but he said, I've been celibate because I needed to restructure my life. Ain't nothing more sexy than that. It was sexy what Tyrese said to me. Tyrese just said is, and I used to date a man who had been very promiscuous his several years, and he was very popular. Women liked him. I used to throw it at him, and it was unattractive when he said it to me. We were in a relationship. He gave me his count, and we were in our 20s. And when he gave me his count, I was so disturbed as a young girl. I was like, my God, what the fuck? Like, you can't say no? What? Like, you just having sex with anything and anybody? Oh, God. And you know what? He was always in a state of confusion, smoking weed to calm down. I said, oh, shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just because he was plagued. And like when I started realizing we were dating, he would get a sense of peace, hanging around me and stuff because I was a certain way. But he was affecting my end. I was like, because he needed really help to deal with whatever the shit he was dealing with. But he shouldn't have had a body count like that. Man, it is disgusting when you guys just go around and do anything. I mean, with anybody. It is not attractive. For some women, it's going to be attractive, but for most women, it's not attractive when you have had a large body count. If I was dealing with Tyrese and I was getting ready to date Tyrese, I'd be like, trip to the clinic, first off, to a chakra and Reiki healer, to a preacher to praise them spirits out. It ain't know how many more, Tyrese. It's how many is attached on to you. How many left something with you? Ooh, 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 ooh. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how powerful. Listen. I want men to understand this. Women too. About spiritual power. Listen, people can leave shit with you and not even have sex with you. But it's harder to do so. When we talk about the power of witchcraft and stuff like that, if they have some sort of contact and you're not protected and stuff like that, they can still do that. But if you easily give your body as sexual energy, I always say to men, when you are having sex out here, you are losing something every time you lay down with them. You losing, you becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. And you are depositing in them. But what are you depositing? Is your lack of creativity because you have fucking given all your strength and your energy to something that you didn't know might have been a witch or a vampire? You out here dicking them down. City to city, I got hoes in different area codes. Tyrese had hoes in different area codes. I got hoes. And every time he think it ain't how many more, it's how many or how many of them left something with you. Left something or took something from you. Like, I don't think it's spirits out here gaining power. It's not. You don't think it's demon-possessed women who feed off of energy, who are seducers and seductresses? Know how to seduce you. Know how to say the right thing. Know how to look at you from the audience. I'm a Scorpio girl. We know all about seduction. right? We don't mean to. It just happens with us. But there are people who practice to lure you in, especially you guys who do things like entertainment, and you think you're the man and you're the prize and you think you're going around. But let me tell you, some of y'all done came in contact with high priestesses who might be not a high priestess of the good plane, but of the demonic plane. And they came to get something from you. It's just like, I love the story in the Bible about, what's that story about Sarah? What is it? The story, I mean, not story, what's his name? Samson and Delilah. The men of the town came to Delilah. Why do you think they came to Delilah? Why do you think the men in the town? Because they was trying to get Samson. Why do you think they came to Delilah and said, Delilah, we need your help? Samson had been involved with a woman from there, but it was his wife. She didn't have the powers that Delilah did. Delilah had very distinctive powers, possibly powers of seduction. And so when they wanted to siphon from Samson his energy, they come to Delilah and they say, hey, Delilah, you his type. You know how to lure this man in. We need you to lure him in. When you get Samson to admit where his strength is, then do whatever he can. We'll come in on him. Me and you're not always in control. Even when you're a big celebrity guy like Tyrese and you're going around from city to city, screwing different women and doing stuff like that and screwing different, you are not always in control. There are certain spirits out there that are siphoning energy out for you, including your talent. You might be, if you're a man who is a musician and you're experiencing a writer's block, and it's probably been after you sleeping with somebody, they probably siphon some energy out for you. You find yourself, you can't wait. Because see, people can be connected. Let me tell you something. People can be connected spiritually anyway. You do know the stories of soulmates, twin flames, and all that stuff. We talk about that all the time on the internet out here in this world. We know more about twin flames. Even twin flames can be connected. They can feel each other. They can feel when their twin is going through. So if you can feel spiritually people who you're not even connected to, let alone when you let somebody into your most intimate world, your most intimate being, your most intimacy, and you give them access to you. And what they call orgasms, people say at orgasms that you can have the most highest manifestation forms. Like when you are orgasming, if you're with somebody who you really love, they say it's a great time for manifestation, a great time to have men. That's why people in the occult world often use sex practices to bring about crazy shit. Okay, because at the point of orgasm, they say is almost what they used to call it little deaths or small deaths, as they say, it's the closest you may come to some sort of death or whatever. So at that point of orgasm, a lot of spiritual things can happen. And if you're dealing with somebody like if you done slept, who knows who Tyrese done slept with running around there? Okay, you done slept with some high priestess who knows exactly what the fuck she doing, and she ain't got to see you ever again. Matter of fact, a lot of them like it that way. Done took something from you. Done destiny swapped your ass. And this is for men, okay? Men, you can get destiny swapped just like females. Women are more vulnerable to it, but men, you're more vulnerable to it because you think you can't be done that way. But especially you, that's why I said, Lenny, that's powerful when he said that. I said, this is a much. I don't know if he's lying, but he mature. That's what I'm talking about. Out in the streets. Woo! I was like, that's sexy. How sexy can you be? He's a Gemini that has control of his penis. He's like, I'm not giving up to everybody. Yeah, I'm on another plane. I understand how y'all operate down these streets. I ain't letting everybody have my energy. Oh, if you ain't lying, boy, that's hot, right? Most women are more attractive. They like, because you don't see that often, right? That's where your power lies, fellas. Your power does not lie. If you're a man who easily, even if you're in the entertainment world and all these coochie cat is getting thrown at you, coochie cat, be careful because you can have a succubus demonic spirit that is coming for your shit. You might understand why you paranoid. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't think. You depressed. You're smoking. You're drinking. You're doing all that. It's because you probably done gave up too much energy fucking around out in these streets. Okay, you gotta gain some strength in your sexuality. You ain't got no strength in your sexuality, you ain't got shit. Okay, gain some strength. You can't be weak in sexuality. That's why we talked about this last week when I said celebrity men. Remember the girl that was on talked about her mother talked about men who were hypersexual are usually gay. And I said this happens a lot in the celebrity world because they're so inundated with sexual women. Everybody wants to have sex with them because what they're doing when men come out on stage, they're presenting to you a fantasy. You know, ain't nothing more sexy. When I went to Lenny Kravitz, he came out there, he's rocking. Oh, you know what I'm saying? He had a good time. I'm like, yes. or when he had the when he was just dancing around and grooving to what's the song? Too many tears, like baby, it was sexy. I was like, gee, he's a seducer. Okay, in fact, I was like, go Lenny. Okay, all the women was like, hey. Yes, okay, but that's not really who Lenny Kravitz is. Okay, so you have to recognize that. Okay, but a lot of women are seduced by that energy. That is an energy coming out at you, but that energy, see, that's why a lot of women get mad. I've heard a lot of women who've been in groupie situations, and a lot of groupies when they come back, they be like, man. I've heard stories where women come back and girl talk about girl. I said, well, you done went to sleep. Girl, that shit wasn't nothing like it was on stage, okay? Girl, I couldn't feel nothing. I said all that, I mean, because this person had given up a fantasy. And I'm like, it's an illusion. Okay? It's an illusion. So when you groupies come, a lot of groupies be knowing that. A lot of groupies find out after sleeping with it. And can I tell you something? A lot of you musical artists and stuff like that, you deal with groupies. A lot of groupies are witches. They don't even know they are, but they are. They seek the sexual energy of these type of men with power. I don't want to preach, y'all. I don't want to preach. Because y'all think y'all the one in the power with the groupies. Y'all think y'all got the power. You don't. Groupies, low key, are witches. Most of them. Because they set out for a specific, they don't even want sometimes more than a night with you. Those are the ones you really got to be scared of. The ones who say, I just want to know what it's like to have you, daddy. I want to know what it's like to be with you and all this stuff like that. You got to really watch them bitches because they are there to get something. They don't want no car or nothing like that. Maybe. But maybe not. Some of them are there just to siphon off energy. Hey, I slept with such and such, and it empowers them. I slept with Denzel. I'm not saying that nobody slept with Denzel, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? That's it. They going around saying that I slept with Lenny. I slept with this person. I slept with that Tyrese. I did this. I did that because it empowers them. And the more they become empowered, like you look at the Korean Stephans. Y'all don't want me to get there, right? Y'all want me to go there. Because Korean probably don't even know this about herself. Okay. Have you ever read Korean Stefan's book, Superhead, about Superhead, when y'all was calling her Superhead? No, I love that she used to tell people call her Korean because Korean's power wasn't in being no superhead. Korean was gaining power from the men out there. So much power Korean Stefan's gained that she wrote a best-selling book that ended up on the New York Times that made her rich. You men thought you were you thought you were taking from her. And there's something she's probably had. I'm not saying that she hasn't had any bad things and stuff from that energy too, but she has been empowered by it. So a lot of y'all thought y'all was in control with Korean. Y'all thought y'all was out here the ones running shit. But Korean in the end was taking notes. And I heard the other day, some young man, was it Bow Wow? He was on Cam Newton show. Oof. And he was talking to Cam Newton about Korean Stephans. And he said, man, he said, it's something about Korean. He said that you even think about her when you can't think about her, when she's not around. You can't, you need her in your life in some space. She has made a need for you. That's because Korean was working in some high sexual, occultic, in my personal opinion, energy. That's just my personal opinion, okay? And you men thought you were running Korean. No, you were not. That whatever Korean is dealing with, whatever energy she's carrying, that's why I say to men, you have to do not think you are the empowered one with the groupies, especially groupie girls who want one night. They are usually fifling energy. You're easy pickings. If you're a sexual succubus or a sexual if I am a sexually witch in hiding, that is a sexual occultic witch, and I get my strength off of sex, I am going to target I'm going to become a groupie and I'm going to target males in the entertainment industry. You are easy pickings. And you have so much energy. And you carry so much gifts and talents within inside of you. It's so stupid. That's what a lot of them do. They are taking, and that's why Tyrese might be sitting, not understanding where he's having the trouble that he's having, or he's had, or he can't see women straight, because though they've come and they've taken something from you. Oh yeah, I was with this bad girl in Brazil. I've had men say stupid. Yeah, you know, and she never wanted nothing else from me. Because she probably got what she needed from you. Okay, you deposited something into her. What did you deposit? What you talking about, girl? What you deposit? What has somebody took from you? Because you're giving. Oh, well, I use a condom. It don't matter. You're giving energy. It's not your semen. Oh man, the spirit of Delilah is everywhere. Guys, don't be so stupid. Your lack of sexual discipline will kill your career. Your lack of sexual discipline will kill you. It'll only empower you for so long because it'll give you a false illusion that you're the man. And that's what usually, if you've ran into a good sexual occultic witch, she does that. She's already stolen from you. So she's giving you the false illusion that you're the strength. Ah, yeah, I had it. I had it going, No, she already ran away. She ain't even. I love, it's a song, what is it? Neo, one of my favorite songs. It's really, and I always laugh about it. Neo and what is it? And what's his name? What's the DJ D Nice? They do No Plans for Love, and he said, I ain't got no plans for love. I only, I only mess with it one time. Even if for the prototype, but still, there's no plans for love. I never double back. But they talking about a girl they ran into that was so bad. She said, I ain't never had nobody ain't came back for more, baby. Like she's saying I ain't coming. I'm telling her I ain't coming back, but I find myself coming back. Usually in those type of situations, you got God. Okay. So this is what I found very interesting about Tyrese and what he was talking about and the energy he talked about. How the men said, how many more Tyrese? Tyrese said that from a man's standpoint as if he was in power. But no, Tyrese, how many of them have taken something from you? That's not the right question he asked you. The question is, how many of them more are you going to let steal your energy from you and siphon energy from you? And how many of them have left something with you? Mm-hmm. I was listening to I played a girl on the other week is talking about why she was joking, talking about why she didn't do threesomes with her guy anymore. And she said because a girl came out during the threesome on her hands or something and gave him a blowjob on her hand while standing on her head or something stupid crazy stuff. That kind of energy, a lot of those men get those kind of experiences. They get crazy sexual experiences, women doing crazy things. Like Cassie and them was allowing Diddy to piss on Diddy and men to piss on her and all that stuff. Men getting these perverted sexual experiences, and Diddy's not the only one. There's a lot of men in the entertainment industry that get those kind of experiences because women are willing to do anything for one, because a lot of women are under illusion that you're some sort of romantic or something like that. Or another thing is women are they're witches and they're low-key siphoning energy off of you, and vampires low-key siphoning energy from you, which is a lot of them. And then the next thing is men, a lot of women, like mostly those two reasons, but men once you introduce yourself to these type of things, and it's hard to get other women. Most women don't stand on. If you had a woman coming out standing on her hands, let me tell you something, men, you better listen to me, fellas. If you got a chick coming out standing on her head and standing on her handstands, doing headstands, sucking your dick and stuff like that, she's a witch. I said what I said. Oh, that's super. How do you do that? She's working in some sort of demonic energy, in some sort of demonic entity. If she's doing porno shit you done seen from porn, like so crazy, like it's so fucking crazy. She doing so much crazy fucking stuff. Be careful, because that may inside her may lie a demonic entity. She's either not a good witch. I'm talking about a high powered ranking. Something demonic. She's demonically possessed sexually. She is there. You might be getting the best blowjob you ever thought you got of your life, but she's sucking something out of you too. Oh, y'all don't know the score. I can teach y'all all day. Oh God, the entertainment industry is so right for those type of people. They love it. They can come get their sexual deviance. Get the demonic energy fed, and can take energy to make them stronger, a stronger sexual energy for the next time and the next time. And ladies out here, let me say this to you ladies out here who see your favorite entertainer and you like him, he's sexy and he's this and that. Get to know him. Get to know him. If he don't want you to get to know him and you know he trying to have sex with you and he don't want to get to know you, do not do that, because he could be a succubus and a demonic entity too. It's a lot of men. Let me tell y'all this, okay, girls. It's a lot of those men in the entertainment work industry that work in the music business, all kinds of things that are the reason they appear so sexual and sexy. Some of them just naturally got it, but some of them are working with demonic entities themselves. They are succubus. They are low-key witches and warlocks and all those things, okay? And so you going up there with your little innocent cute, I like him. Hi. Oh my God, you're so cute. Give her me what? Oh God, yes. Well, we could. Maybe we could. That's around the night or whatever. You thinking like, oh yeah, I'm about to sleep with such and such. And he's a low-key warlock. You don't know, you ain't even got to know him. Like you ain't getting to talk to him on the phone and stuff like that. You just want to take you up to the room and hit it. Warlock. They could be witches and warlocks themselves. And that's how they operate. They may target certain women in the audience who have a sense of innocence to them or like them or stuff like that. They'll target you that way. And because you carry a lot of energy and power, especially if you're a powerful person, if you got a lot of power. So be careful of that. Not only should the men in entertainment, like Tyrese was just telling that story, be aware of witches coming up in there, because like I said, it's a powerful source for to feed off of. But women should be careful of going up there and dealing with those them too, because you don't know who's a high priest or warlock or something in that area. And that's easy. I mean, it's so easy when you believe the illusion on stage. So that's why sometimes some of that is their power is in that illusion. The illusion is coming sometimes from entities. So that's why I say you have to know somebody when you're engaging. If you engage with them to have sex with them, you know, hey, I don't want to mess y'all, because listen. If you want a little one night stand with your favorite singer or whatever, you single, you can do it. I don't know, whatever. And you know, it might be a hot, passionate night. I don't know. I'm not saying it ain't, but I'm just saying a lot of these times you got to be careful, because a lot of people are carrying energies, especially now. A lot of people are warlocks, they witches, they all kinds of stuff, and you don't know what people carrying. Okay, you don't know what energy. So I would say get to know that, try to get to know that person. Try to you know, try to get them to know them on some level, to know what they do, because a lot of and then knowing them takes away that illusion that you think of them. Okay, you know, it really it makes them less, even when you do meet and greets. Like, okay, even like I said, even though meet and greets are still in the performance category, because I tell women, even if you do meet and greets, he's still performing, because he's still in the performance category. But even meet and greets will take away illusions. It'll take away some illusions. Like, he's shorter, he's not as tall. Oh, he's really cute. He's still handsome, or it will show you the person. I don't know how it'll show you the person. Now, some people in their meet and greets, I've only done one. I've done meet and greets with Maxwell. I have done, and I've met regular celebrities just on the outside world, or whatever, just outside stuff like that. Maxwell's a very interesting character, because in his meet and greets, this is what I personally learned about Maxwell, watching him in his meet and greets. Every time, I may do another one time. I may do one, but in his meet and greets, what I've gathered about him, all the meet and greets I've done, stands out to me like a sore thumb. It's not bad, but I've noticed it in all his meet and greets. He never is without shades. it's interesting to me. I was like, whoa, why are you always wearing shades? Because I think people who wear shades are shady. He like, yeah, you always, all right, maybe he would probably say he's extremely shy, but I'd be like, why are you always having on shades in your meet and greets? Every last one of his meet and greets. I don't think even if I saw him without shades, I would notice he was without them because I'm so used to seeing from the first meet and greet on, he's had shades on. When he doesn't want to, shades are a shield. So what does that tell me about Maxwell meet and greets? That tells me, what am I learning about his personality as I walk into the room? Because I'm already an energy reader. I can read your energy sometimes before you walk in the room if I'm paying it quite. But meet and greets I tend to not like because they're so fast. And I've told you guys that before. But I can't pick up certain things. And because I've met him a number of times, about 3 times, I've picked up certain things. I picked up that he is very guarded. So guarded that he even guards himself in those meet and greets. Super, super guarded. You're like, Carlotta, why you say that? Well, because if you're a girl, let me give you girls some game, okay? I don't know what he's like, I mean, a personal person or whatever like that. I can tell you what I gather from charts and stuff like that. But that would stick out to me if I was like interested. I mean, like if you're trying to be in a relationship, it would stick out that you are always wearing shades. Why are you always wearing shades? Why it would stick out to me because there is such a guard there. He not only is guarded on stage, very guarded. The guard in I told you several things about Maxwell stick out to me. Faceless. He reminds me of the faceless men in Game of Thrones. And it's a very Gemini thing to be, I think. And no glasses. I mean, and shades all the time, except for in his pictures. Now, in his pictures, he doesn't wear shades a lot, but with you guys, he wears shades. What are you guarding? He's so protective of his energy. So what that tells me, there's a couple of things. I would be like, what I feel like when you're that guarded, it's not due to shyness. It's not due to this and that. But occultically, you might know some things about protecting your energy, protecting your space from people, protecting certain things about people, certain things, unless he's just a paranoid person or something like that. But he doesn't want eye contact in the real meet and greets. Why? And he didn't used to always do that. It's recently, that's a new thing I think that's come up or something like that, which is very interesting. So what in that space are you guarding? So those are things you can learn in those type of things. And when you go to a meet and greet, okay, like if you're going to 3 or 4 of them, the person gets used to seeing you, hey, whatever. Okay, you can gather from somebody little things, but they're still in performance mode. And what I gathered from Matt, that's because I'm different. But what I gathered from him is he's already heavily guarded, but even more so that he wears shades during meet and greets. So I would be like, he either knows, he has great occultic knowledge. Great occultic knowledge. Maybe he's that shy. I don't think so. Okay, so the great occultic knowledge would say, what am I dealing with here? Is this a regular singer? What am I doing? That's what you can get out of a meet and greet. And that you can be careful, girls, that you can't be having no one night stands with him. I would tell girls, don't be having no one night stands with him because you don't know if he is like my mom always called him a warlock. I don't think he's a warlock, but he may understand that energy. Or he may live in that energy. So you got to be careful of those things. You know what I'm saying? So that's I'm just using my faith as an example. Okay. that you have to be careful and aware of what am I dealing with here. And so I'm a curious person about people, so I'm always like, okay, when I see one little thing about you, and then I've gathered some little things about him on stage, like the average, how I see him perform in certain things. I've learned certain things about, but I'm an observer. I'm very observant. So I think I kind of have gotten a little bit into understanding the personality of what I'm seeing there, the 20 personalities. So yeah, but I would say that for women as well as going into these situations, what Tyrese is talking about, and men is specifically in the entertainment business, take heed to what I said about women. You have to be very careful, because what's described sometimes the most beautiful and seductive women that you see coming in the door are the reason why they're so powerful and seductive and sirens is because not all women that are sirens are that way. Okay. I've been told I'm a siren. Okay. Because I have a friend who tells me all the time, you are an innocent siren. And I'm like, what's an innocent siren? And he said, you look innocent, but you could also look really sexual. I'm like, yeah, I'm a Scorpio. He's like, oh, yeah. We're like, oh, yeah. Right. But sirens, real women who sometimes people who are operating in siren energy, where it's very strong, it's very powerful and stuff like that, be careful, because those are demonic entities like the mermaid. They're here to take you to the sea, to the bottom of the sea, and drown you and kill you. Okay. All right. People say that's what Scorpios do. That's what they say Scorpios do. That's what they say we do. We don't take y'all to the bottom. They say Scorpios are sirens that don't know they sirens. No, you know what? We know listen here. We do not. We not out here trying to kill y'all. They say we trying to sting y'all to death. I gotta laugh at it because it's funny. Okay. All right. Let me go to this other news I gotta give y'all before we get up out of here. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, I know a lot of women have been talking about not letting men take you on coffee dates. How do people have been asking me how I feel about that? Wow. How do I feel about coffee dates? I just think that as long as if you're in between, like you're at work and he wants to run and get coffee or something like that, okay, but I wouldn't consider it a first date. I just consider it a friendly coffee date. I mean, we ain't dating. That's not a date. I don't consider a coffee date a date. Mm-hmm. A coffee is friendly. We just going to get some coffee. I'm not. Am I supposed to be getting to know you? No. I'm for coffee dates at a certain atmosphere, when you are keeping it friendly, when you're on the friendship level. But when you're trying to have, I don't know, it's so hard. More than anything, I think men need to do is have interesting dates. Come up with something interesting. Even if it's a date to the museum and lunch afterwards, that is thought provoking. You put something in you. If you know, if a guy knows me, he knows I love to learn. I like museums. I like stuff like that. He knows I like to do something unusual. I mean, I can't do it. Like if you do something like a paint and sip with me, I can't paint worth a damn, but I would be trying. I'd have, because it was so creative. It's so smart. Or I'm a Scorpio, so like if I go to the sex museum, I'm like, oh, some men would be like, oh, I shouldn't take her to know. She gonna think I'm trying to be something. But no, I would think like you're wanting deeper conversations. That's just for me, a Scorpio. That wouldn't because sex, like the sex museum I went to in New York, it was deeper than just about sexual. It's just about sex. It was about sexuality. It's about a lot of different things, right? So you can have a deep conversation. Just be creative. And don't make it so that you have just you're trying to make it the cheapest date you've ever had, or you're trying to make it like, hey, I'm just out here to get to know. If you want to do something, I really feel that it should be creative or fun or something. If you take me to a music show, a music concert, a play, or something I know that you thought out. I love that kind of stuff. Okay. I love that. Okay. This weekend I went to a play. I went to a play. I went to go see. Let me tell you about this play. Okay, so I went to go see, and I didn't know if it was gonna be good or not. Because I got tickets to it. I'm proud of you. It is the story of Mr. Rogers. You know, Mr. Rogers, would you be my neighbor? It's the story of Mr. Rogers and this journalist that he became friends with. And the journalist is telling about the impact that Mr. Rogers had on his life. I did not know Mr. Rogers was that powerful. Mr. Rogers, oh God, I cried so much through this play. I was like, me and the few ladies in front of us, we was low-key bawling. Oh, it was such a powerful play. If you guys have not seen it it's at the Arlington Theater right now. I am proud of you. I don't know if it's still running. You have to look it up. Oh my God, so good, so good. And one of the things they kept saying in there, he kept saying, let me see if I can look up the saying. It was very powerful. Let me see. It was one saying that was so good. That Mr. Rogers kept. That Mr. Rogers said to him when he wanted to, when he was trying to get to know the journalist. Let me see. And I was like, Mr. Rogers, I used to watch when I was little, but I just really didn't, let me see if I can find them, y'all. Okay, this is what they said. One of the keys in the plays. He said, Fred wanted to know, because Fred is Mr. Rogers from, and when I'm talking about Mr. Rogers, I'm talking about Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. He said, Fred wanted to know the truth of your life, the nature of your insides, and had room enough in his own spirit to embrace without judgment whatever that truth might be. I'm trying to find what the big quote of the play was. It was such a powerful play about life, and it was this one part of the play where the man's brother was dying, and he was talking to Mr. Rogers on the phone, and he told Mr. Rogers, he said, the funny thing is, I'm dying, but I didn't start living until I started dying. Woo! It was God. This play was so good. Oh my God, it was so good. But it gave you so much insight to Mr. Rogers. But I'm trying to find God, I want to find this one particular quote, okay? Oh, I don't know why it's so hard to find this quote. Oh my goodness. He wanted to find out the end. It's sort of like with that thing about the end. Gosh, and I really wanted to find this quote for you guys because it was such a powerful quote that Mr. Rogers had about he wanted to learn those invisible, I think it was the invisible tangible or something like that, the invisible things about you in your life. The invisible, it's what I was saying about learning about people when you meet, just not, when you're seeing an artist on stage, you're just seeing some of them, their anointing, what they're gifted to do, but you don't see who that person is. You're just seeing a little piece of that person. And it's important to know who that person is. It's the invisible, and I forget what he called it. Oh my God, it was so good. I'm going to find the quote because y'all, I need to say this quote to y'all before I go off today. So you know how I do on here. Let me see. Y'all know how I be doing on here. I be trying to find it for y'all. See if I can find. Okay, what is essential is invisible to the eye. Whoa! What he said, I want to know those essential, uh, uh, essential things that are that nobody, those people, that things that people don't know about. So he said, let me see, is this the one? Okay, I want you guys to hear this. I'm going to share this tab. I think he's going to say it in this. Okay, this is his interview with Charlie Rose. Okay, which was one of the best interviewers in the business to me. I hate y'all took Charlie Rose off the air, and y'all left me with these crazy internet people. Okay, let me let y'all hear. Charlie Rose just had the most interesting interviews. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me see if I can share this tab.
For you?
Well, I've always hoped that we'd be able to say to children that they matter, that they count, and that there was something of value that resides within them. I have a little plaque beside my chair upstairs in the office that says, "What is essential is invisible to the eye." That may sound like something strange for somebody who works in television, but the older I get, the more important I know that is.
Why is it important?
Because what we see is rarely what is essential. What's behind your face is what's essential.
Whoa.
For you, what does it mean to be on the air with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? What's the legacy for you?
So he said, what is essential is what is invisible to the eye. It was a constant quote in that play. And it was about a beautiful friendship between two men. They weren't gay or anything, but two men who loved each other and had been with each other through hard times up until Mr. Rogers' death. This journalist and him had been great friends. Such a powerful story. Man, I tell you, I was crying. I was crying. I was crying. And they had this one scene where the brother was talking about his cancer again. And his brother was saying, when he found out he had cancer, it was a relief to him. He said, because then he realized that all the stuff, he said, suddenly none of that stuff mattered. Nothing of stuff, his life, he had an excuse to live now. I have an excuse to do, because I know that I'm dying, I have an excuse. He's like, it was a relief from all the things that I thought were important. Ain't that. Let me tell y'all something. I'm telling y'all, when you hear those words, I was telling somebody this week, when you hear those words and they say how you, and they say, they're nervous to tell you, and they tell you got breast cancer or something like that, or cancer, period. You hear that C word, baby. I understood what that man was saying, and that's why I cried. And then thank God that God saw fit for me that he's continuing to heal, and I've been released from it. But listen, when I understood what he meant, that it was a relief, because there suddenly nothing else was important. As important is I got to figure out a way to live. So it's such a powerful play. Y'all, if y'all ever get to see a play, I'm proud of you about the story of Mr. Rogers and his friendship with this journalist. I forget who the journalist was, but oh my God, it was such a powerful show, powerful play. That's why I love theater. Theater is such a powerful, I fall in love with theater every time. The last several years of my life, the last 10 years of my life, I have become falling back in love with theater, because and just what it means to the overall overall society, of what actors and playwrights and lighting specialists and stage managers and costume designers and I mean, you name it, whoever is involved in the theater, ticket people, sell it to you, every access, teachers who are teaching it, people who are telling the history of it and stuff like that, how important it is to the overall power to transform society. People who do these, we still do this even with the advent of television. This is live theater is still one of the most powerful things ever. So powerful. So yeah, so I love it. It just is. It was really good. And that quote, where he said, "What is essential," and it's kind of what we've been talking about today. What is essential is invisible to the eye. What are your essentials? That's what I want to know in a person. What is it about you that makes you tick? What is it? What is that person behind you? Like when I always said, my dream is if I interview, ever interviewed, got to interview my fave Maxwell. One of the first things I would ask him is, "What your mama and them think about what you do?" Because I don't hear nothing about your mama and them. Because you know what I'm saying? Because your family tells me what they tell me something about you behind that. I've never heard a reporter ask him that. I've never heard, but that tells me something about you. Like how did your family feel about your success? How does those are things I like to know about people. The little things. What made you you? What made you pick up a mic and start singing? What made you what other things are you? If you weren't a singer, what would you do? If you weren't an actor, what would you do? If you weren't a this, what would you do? Who would you be? What are you essentially when you're at home? What is the things you like to do in your quiet? Who are you? What is essential is invisible to the eye. So powerful. So powerful. Okay. So I want y'all to take that with y'all today. Okay. I really love that. Okay. And that was a quote from Mr. Rogers. All right. All right. So let me see what else I had talked to y'all about. I think I'm gonna make that my TikTok thing this week. Oh my goodness, I got a TikTok. That's my TikTok thing this week. I think it's gonna be it. Okay, so I made oh my god, I need to take that. Oh my goodness. I need to take that for my TikTok. I will do that. I'm gonna take that for my TikTok. It is. Okay. Let's see. What else do we want to talk to you guys about before I go? Okay, we talked about okay, I think that's it. I don't think I have a lot of the story. I think I kind of I had it was short. Y'all know how I be doing. I'll be like, I think I have some stories to share with y'all, and then I don't. But yeah, I think that's it. Wow. Uh, okay, they're talking about Beyonce and Jay-Z closing on a UK estate. We've been knowing they've been wanting to move to the UK for the longest. Um, I think that's it, you guys. I think I've done. I think I got it all. Okay. So I want you guys to remember this week what is invisible is essential to the eye, what Mr. Rogers said. I think that's such a powerful quote. Okay. And I think that's really powerful to leave you guys with. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy your week. We're out. It's a Tuesday already, so we're gonna be at Wednesday midweek, and it's just gonna go fast from here. Okay, so you guys have a good one. Enjoy. Remember, you can hit me up on the Carlotta Chat with Facebook page. You can hit me up at Carly's_Galaxy on Instagram, TikTok, K Carlotta, Threads, all that stuff. You can hit me up, okay? And Twitter X is C Chat with Show and Carlotta72. All right, I am out. Y'all have a good one. Okay, bye.